receive any email. So, what are you talking about, Jasper? What you talking about? No, wala na ako. So I guess, but it was a good studio. That was a good run. It just was not meant to be. Oo, nabutan ni Joseph yung cinematic, di ba? Emil Nate is in the chat. He's in Baguio right now.
Is in the comment in Baguio habang bumabagyo. So he's learning
Hindi pa naman
quick.
bumabagyo. Yeah.
Sabi umuulan na daw eh. Somebody in Baguio. Yeah, one of my group chat said that it's raining hard in Baguio. So we love you, Bruce Lim. Hello, Doc G.
Doc G.
What's good?
Maraming salamat for those who went to Raps Giving Quiz Night last week.
Which one good restaurant, Bruce? Ang dami niya. Ang daming good restaurant sa Baguio.
Oo nga.
It's not just one, man. Good taste. It's all right. It's
okay. The thing about good taste is marami siyang servings. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good if you're a lot. If you're like a family.
Kung marami kayo.
4 or 5, yeah.
But it's you can do better than good taste. Tsaka marami ng tao sa good taste kasi.
Madami din siyang branches din naman, di ba?
Yeah, but still.
Wait, so what's better than good taste? Great taste ba?
Yes. Yeah, yes.
Find your next superlative.
Yeah.
My favorite Eddie Guerrero moment was the championship win. Really, we talked about this in a previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
Dami na natin pinag-usapan about Eddie.
Yeah.
Siguro para maiba. Ray and Eddie fighting over the custody of Dominic. I love
people
trash.
Like
I love trashy storyline. So yeah, top pins happen. The I'm your Poppy T. Oh my god, classic. I think I saw some Vault, WWE Vault. They were talking about the debut. They have a few videos there, but they also talked about the debut of Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio on that one WCW. Where they were, diba you picked it as a pick of the week 1 year?
No, that was the Halloween Havoc. They did a watch along of Halloween Havoc. Yeah.
Yun, tapos diba, din breakdown nila. So that's if you're looking for an Eddie fix, that's a good pick.
John Batista. It's been a week since that. It felt like it's been forever.
All right, time to shut up now.
I'm the best wrestler in the world. My name is Colin Cash Money Cannon.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
What do we want to talk about?
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Because mommy is always on top.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
I'm home.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
To say his name.
Say his name and he appears.
Hello, my name is Ina Dragunov.
It's LA Knight's game. Yeah.
She's on me, bitch.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
You have a father, but your father's dead.
G'day everyone, TMDK Sniper of the Skies, Robbie Eagles here.
Moses in!
And you're listening.
You're listening.
And you're listening.
And you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast. And you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
You're listening to the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
Not Clementine! I love you, Solo! I love you!
You are watching and listening to the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. I swear, I love you, Solo. It's not going to get old anytime soon.
I love you, Solo!
Stancy Romoran and Chino Liao all coming at you for our Thursday live stream. Thank you so much to everybody who's joining us tonight. And I'm not sure if anyone from our happy little circle and bubble was at the big Dua Lipa party last night. I sure wasn't. And if we weren't, siguro tayo yung mga poors who could not afford to go to Philippine Arena.
No, it's not that we can't afford to go to Philippine Arena. It's that we refuse to go to Philippine Arena.
I had work last night, so I had an excuse. Tinext ko naman kay Dua Lipa eh. Sabi ko, sayang, kita mo kita.
Sana kasi sa Batangas siya nag-perform eh, di ba?
I wonder if anyone was actually stalking her and her boyfriend out sa Intramuros and all. Because,
Intramuros, that's wild. Yeah.
Because Phil Star posted a picture of them being on their date sa Intramuros.
I think somebody snapped a photo and posted it on social media. Parang si Olivia Rodrigo.
To si Emil Nate, parang ang laking ano. Sorry, go on.
Si Olivia Rodrigo may entourage siya of about 15 people. I'm sure Dua had an entourage, pero hindi lang kita. Right?
Hindi siya nag-entourage kasi she was able to go to Maxwell Hawker Center sa Singapore with her friends, and that's it. That's all she had. So parang nakapag-photoshoot. Yeah, nakapag-photoshoot pa sila, nakapag-food trip pa sila doon nang walang nanggugulo sa kanila.
Sarap ng buhay. Ito si Emil Nate, who all day long has been on Player Hater of the Year streak. Pati pala yung Philippine Arena, part ng list of shit list ni Emil Nate.
We've changed this man. This boy. when he first joined us, he was an innocent. He was an innocent kid.
We have tainted his soul.
We have broken him. All right, Emil's not here, but we still have our regular plug. So how about we start with WWE on Blast TV?
Right, WWE on Blast TV. It is the middle of November, and in a month and a half's time, I think we'll be moving to a whole new platform for WWE content, whether it's Raw, NXT, SmackDown. But before that, until then, you still have WWE on Blast TV. It's free. It is available with your Converge Globe at Home or PLDT Home Stream TV subscriptions. Go check that out kasi meron pa ibang maraming content sa Blast TV. There's like sports, NBA by Setanta. There's the NFL and other leagues as well. A whole bunch of movies and TV shows. If you want to watch The Office, go check that out. Maraming ganap. It's really free. www.blasttv.ph, guys. Go check that out. Mr. Ovation is waiting for you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ro. We have another thing to plug. Well, before we get to that event, pasalamatan ulit natin lahat ng mga pumunta ng Graps Giving Quiz Night last Friday at Hobby Stadium. Thank you for celebrating a belated wrestling Halloween with us. Thank you to Childman, aka Dizzy Savage, aka Dino Imperial, and our friends from Hobby Stadium and Everybody's Toys and Collectibles for making that event happen. Sobrang saya to see everybody there in person, hang out during the show, the quiz night, after the quiz night, and syempre, give away the prizes. So congrats to Chino and Bruce, not patron Bruce, different
And
Chino
not
as well.
Chino.
Not me, Chino. AKA Barefoot Contest.
Yeah,
Which
yeah. Congrats to
na-appreciate
them.
ko na sila lang yung quiz night team na hindi wrestling related. So, kudos to them.
Yes. So sila yung defending champions. Let's see if they come back because so far, no defending champion has retained successfully. And Glendale or Doc G is also the only former champion to come back. So I don't know what that says about our quiz
Sabi
night.
ni
No, I
Ali,
think-
babali daw yung terror kambal. Babawi sila next year. So, we'll see.
I think the former champions, the Tam Twins, I think they would have come back if the quiz night was on a Saturday. So we'll look into the next.
All
We'll
right,
look into the
yeah.
dates for the next one.
Yeah, we got time. We got time until the next quiz night, whenever that'll be. All right. Our next event, though, before the year ends, is happening right at the start of December.
Yon, Survivor Series WarGames 2024 as announced nung Grapscoving Quiz Night. It's happening on December 1, 2024. So it is a packed wrestling weekend. If you're watching local wrestling, Pusong Pinoy is happening on Saturday, November 30. And then Survivor Series WarGames 24 is happening on December 1 at Skinny Mike Sports Bar as usual. The main show will begin at 7 a.m. Maaga siya ulit. And that means the doors will open at 6 a.m. So be there early, guys. I know some people are already planning to camp out a little bit. Not naman before the night before, but before the bar opens around 6 a.m. So it's only 350 pesos for early birds until November 29. That's Friday, a couple of Fridays from now, and until we get 100 early bird signups. So you can walk in, but you will not be prioritized the seating, and that's going to be for 450 pesos. Both tickets will come with free iced tea as per usual. So if you have been waiting for another happy vibes filled viewing party with your fellow wrestling fans, with us at Wrestling Podcast, this is it. This is the time. This is the final one for the year, and we got prizes as well from our friends at Everybody's Toys and Collectibles, who will be joining us once again as the tradition goes. So go check that out. I think a couple of your favorite creators will be there as well. I know Hobby Dainsy and Galactic Shark might be coming by. So if you want to meet them, if you want to say hi, if you want to say hi to us as well, go check that out again. The link to sign up for your early bird is tinyurl.com/Survivor Series 2024. Tama
Yeah.
ba?
Yes, tama. Survivor Series 2024. If you want to be part of the awesome SDEs that Ro releases on social media right after the viewing parties, then this is another way for you to get some airtime on our platform.
If you want a chance to go viral.
Oh.
Malay
Tsaka
mo.
kung manonood kayo ng Puso Wrestling tapos mag-viewing party kayo, utang na loob, maligo muna kayo, ha? I mean, I'm not gonna be there the next morning, pero maawa naman tayo sa mga pupunta ng viewing party the following morning. Maligo naman tayo.
Kahit mag-deodorant man lang kayo.
Sure, yeah. Bili kayo ng, pupunta kayong bench, bili kayo Atlantis.
Diba? Palit kayo ng damit, diba?
Diba? Kung afford mo mag-skinny Mike, sure ako afford mong maligo or mag-deodorant. Okay?
Pabango.
Let us not prove Grayson Waller right, please.
He's already right. He's already right.
Correct. Ano ka ba? The reason why nag-viral yun is because he's correct and everyone knows it.
Further. Right further. Diba? Huwag na natin palakasin yung stereotype natin.
Okay. All right, let's get to some actual wrestling talk before we alienate more stinky wrestling fans. And let's start with John Cena, who has confirmed that he will be in the 2025 Royal Rumble match. So, yun yung huling hirit niya because this is part of the John Cena retirement tour.
Yeah, so he's the first confirmed entrant in Shepard. It's gonna be his last Royal Rumble. So I think everyone who knows that 2025 is his last year already knows this. Interesting. Great way to sell the show. I know the show's gonna be like February 1, diba? Parang hindi siya umabot ng January mismo. So it's a good way to keep him on the calendar. And I don't think that means he's gonna win, but never say never, I guess. What do you think? Does he have a chance?
I think it'd be a wasted opportunity if Cena does win. Because while yes, it is his last year and we're feeling all sorts of nostalgic about it. Siyempre, in the larger picture, ang mas gusto ko makita yung people who will stay there, di ba? I don't think John Cena is the type of wrestler who does this whole year-long run and then just goes out on top. Di ba? Parang, hindi siya Daniel Bryan hindi siya Bryan Danielson, he's John Cena. So, for him to win, parang takes a little bit of the wind out of the current storylines being told, diba? Yung sa sales na yun, because you have people have their favorites, diba? And I doubt that there's anybody out there who's going to be like, yes, papasok si Cena sa Rumble, mananalo siya. Again, that said, it's still an attraction. I can totally see why they announced it because it's Cena and it is his last time sa Rumble, diba? But then again, I'm looking at it a little bit jaded.
Mm-hmm.
If Cena doesn't win,
wins.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
No, if Cena doesn't win, does he stay for long? Magbababad ba siya?
Feeling ko magbababad siya. You have to.
Yeah,
you kind of have to. I think a quick Cena out is the ultimate troll job.
Yeah. I think
Pupali
they
mo pa yung
will
mga
tease. They'll probably tease him winning. Baka Final 4, Final 3.
Oh yeah, that's actually not a bad. It's not a bad idea.
Diba? They'll do some sort of drama with him hanging off the top rope.
Yeah.
Diba? Out na siya, and then everybody's all sad and shit. Diba?
If Cena wins, he would be tied with Stone Cold for most wins in a Royal Rumble match with 3. So that's also something to keep an eye out for in case lang na, Cena actually wins.
Yeah, Albert has a good point here. The reason why I brought up the idea of him winning is because he is still on the cusp of breaking Ric Flair's record. So if he does win, and it goes to WrestleMania, and that's his shot, diba? It does break the record from Flair. So I don't think that's beyond the realm of possibility with the WWE, because it's still John Cena. It's still one of the biggest stars, the GOAT, if you will.
And to break the record, he can't win the World Heavyweight Championship. I think he has to win the WWE Championship.
Sure.
Diba? Hey, who's holding it now? Cody? Is Cody gonna lose to Cena at WrestleMania?
And diba Cody was supposed to lose, or isn't expected to come into WrestleMania as champ?
As champion.
Interesting. I wouldn't know. We'll see. Interesting times are ahead, especially after this new announcement about John Cena. All right, moving on to Raw. Let's talk about the World Heavyweight Championship picture where Damian Priest cooked Gunther on the mic this week. Probably not on a lot of people's bingo cards, especially since yung character ni Gunther has very little confidence now after losing to Cody Rhodes ng Crown Jewel.
Yeah, I really like this promo. Sorry, I really like this segment here. Kasi he punked Gunther out essentially, and this is the first time we've seen cracks in his armor dito si Gunther. Kasi he's always been dominant. He's always been very impossible to defeat. And then ever since Crown Jewel, diba, nakikita na natin na may doubt siya. And Damian Priest was able to punk him out. And I really love that. I love how this entire episode of Raw really just got to show people's vulnerabilities here. Diba? With Gunther, with the Wyatt Six, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. Pero ang ganda lang din ito because it's a different side to Gunther that I haven't seen at all.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I think it was a good step in, trying to make Gunther's opponents not so doormatty when they come against him. So yeah, I it was okay. Like I'm not like the biggest fan of Damian Priest as a contender right now, but they do have to do what they have to do here. They do need a championship match, Survivor Series. So it's not a bad way to go. The whole interaction or the whole tension between Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser here was more interesting to me because again, and I think we'll talk about this a little later, they're teasing so many team tensions and breakups again. Parang now more than ever, like more than Vince's run, like so many breakup stories are happening all at the same time. So Gunther has his hands full here in the story, and parang I want them to focus on one thing, right? Like, are you gonna focus on Gunther and his confidence being shaken? Are you going to focus on Gunther snapping on Ludwig Kaiser? Are you going to focus on Damon Priest getting one, cooking Gunther on the mic? So I think ang dami nangyayari, and it's not really helping Gunther by having all of these things happen at once.
I actually disagree na, because I like that it's all happening to Gunther at the same time. Para lang kung matalo siya, then he has an out, 'di ba? You can say na you didn't beat me in peak form. My focus was divided. I was taking care of so many things. It's an easy out to make Gunther's eventual loss, kung mangyari man yun, to give it a bit of taint para hindi niya masabi na dispatch siya agad si Gunther, especially after his whole legend has been built.
I just think
kasi 'di ba being besieged at all fronts is something Gunther's never experienced before. 'Di ba? Because he has been so dominant and so commanding in his role as the world heavyweight champion. So for me to see him with that shade of weakness, 'di ba, being unable to respond when he's always been so confident on the mic, it's really something special, and I never expected it, and it's really making me a bigger fan of Gunther even more.
I think ayaw ko lang talaga is like they're doing so many teases of teams breaking up, and it's getting old now kasi parang okay, you found your stride, doing the long form storytelling of, teasing the tension and, watering those seeds, and then now you're doing it for everyone, and it's parang that ba ng team ngayon sa panahon ng Triple H nag-aaway? Like, come on. Like, where is the editing here? There's no editing, I think. It's running too wild here. That's why I don't like this particular facet of this story.
So let's flesh that out after this break. But first, we got to hear from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. All right, let's talk about that tension between the teams and the units na pinag-uusapan ni Ro, because this week we saw Finn Balor and Dirty Dominic Mysterio get into it, and this version of the Judgment Day is pretty new, diba? Since Liv Morgan basically took over.
Yeah, and then like Alwin said that, like, I get that, these two are the oldest members of the team right now kasi sila yung halos OG na rin. But it's again, it's all happening at the same time. Like, I'm seeing one team break up. I just saw another team break up, and then now I'm seeing another team fight, and then now this is happening too. Like, wala naman sila ng ibang kwento na mabigay sa atin. Like, it's nice. I think now you're using long-term storytelling, the week-to-week thing as a crutch to get away with having the same idea. I didn't think I would be saying this about the Triple H regime, but I can't believe we're here now. And I don't know if anyone else is seeing it, but this is what Raw is full of now.
Yeah, I don't know. I like how they're teasing all these breakups, but just because they're teasing it doesn't mean will actually break up. I think if anything, parang it's their way of showing how real these relationships are. Kasi diba, parang hindi naman lahat ng relationships, diba, smooth sailing, and people don't really go into these alliances with their own agendas. Hey, case in point, si Judgment Day, diba, they got together because they all had their own agendas and they all gaslighted each other into being friends. Diba? So parang ganun din yung nakikita ko dito with every other team. Either this test either makes them or breaks them. Parang it's either they become a better team because of it or they break up. Diba? May pwede pa din siyang puntahan na just because there's a little conflict within the relationship doesn't mean that they're actually going to break up.
No, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with the fact that, in real life, friends disagree with each other all the time. Like I know my friends that I disagree with each other all the time. Like we all disagree with each other all the time. But the thing about this is a story, and they're telling a story, and they're not editing the story, because every beat now, almost every beat, is a team arguing with each other. Parang, I'm gonna watch Raw. The New Day is arguing with each other. Now the Judgment, Imperium was arguing with each other. Miz and R-Truth broke up, and now the Judgment Day are arguing with each other. And then I'm gonna watch NXT. Fraction is still arguing with each other. And then Ridge and Andre Chase broke up. And then I go to watch SmackDown. DIY is now arguing with each other. Do you not see, like, yes, you're right, tama, pero what's going on here? Why is this the only idea that's happening now? You know what I mean?
That's naman. Yeah, that's naman. Yeah.
People in the chat, let us know.
I just don't have a bigger problem with it as you. Pero gets ko naman.
Let us know what you think. We do want to hear from you at Wrestling2XPod on Twitter and on TikTok. Sa Blue Sky din ba? Wrestling2XPod tayo.
Yes, sir.
Fun. Wonderful. All right. It's way more fun over there.
Blue Sky now?
Meron na. Ano ka ba?
Yes.
As of
And
yesterday.
Nia Jackson, Tiffany Stratton are arguing with each other. Jeez.
Oh, yun pa. Pero at least in damage control, magkakasundo sila.
Buti nga.
Mas nakakagulat
Buti
naman
na sila.
Pero nag-away din
Yeah,
sila.
yun.
Diba?
At least yun.
Sure. All right, let's talk about Seth Rollins now, because now he's getting roped back into the bloodline drama and he doesn't want any part of it. Do you want him in this? Kasi clearly they're all looking for a fifth guy. Solo mentioned it nung SmackDown, and now both Solo side and the OG bloodline are campaigning for Rollins to link up with them.
That's a good thing to say, Bruce. What the fuck is a blue sky? Bro, it's waiting tomorrow, shining and shimmering. Anyway, I think this was just a tease. I think kasi alam mo yun, they're just really leveraging on everyone's shared history with the bloodline, I think there was just something that to build the tension of, looking for the fifth man. Like, obviously Seth is doing his own thing with Bronson Reed. Braun Breaker's doing his own thing with Sheamus. They're really not serious contenders for the fifth man. Pero syempre, you have to make it look like the OG bloodline is actually looking up and down the roster for their fifth guy, diba? Parang ano lang yan. It's it's world building, it's character building.
Yeah, I also don't think Seth is joining any team, diba? Much less the new bloodline. Kasi I think if he does join, then by extension, that would also mean Bronson Reed would join, filling the rosters up. And if that happens, parang binaliwala lang nila lahat nung tsunamis ni Bronson Reed. Like the storytelling is gonna be put to the wayside in service of this much larger story. Essentially, parang kinain nila yung story ni Seth and Bronson, and I don't think it deserves that. I think it deserves its own time in the spotlight. Maybe a match on its own on Survivor Series if it has room for that. Pero not to be lumped in.
Dineclare na ni Adam Pearce. Seth and Bronson Reed get their one-on-one.
As a Survivor Series ba yun? Okay, I thought it was Raw or something. Yeah. Okay.
No,
so yun, diba? It deserves its own time. Diba? Not to be lumped in with this much larger story at play.
All right. Sorry, next week pala yung Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. You're right.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't on Survivor Series. I knew.
Right. So that does leave Seth technically unbooked pa rin for Survivor Series. So, yeah, they're looking for a fifth guy, diba? Who's it going to be? I mean, like, we can speculate all we want about Hikuleo or Lance Anoa'i for the new bloodline, but who's going to team up with OG bloodline at this point?
Actually, like, I like everyone's reasoning. Like, I like everyone's reasoning, or especially Seth's reasoning for refusing to join the bloodline. Diba? Kasi he's right. He did spend a whole bunch of his time, especially in the WrestleMania season, fighting against Roman Reigns. And then he's not going to throw that away and then disrespect his writing himself, his own convictions, if you will, by doing what Sammy did, doing what Jay did, diba? And doing what Cody did nung huling pay-per-view, nung PLE. And I like that, some characters are still logical, some characters are still sensible. like Kevin Owens, and it really does make you, wonder what's gonna happen next. It really does make it unpredictable. Kasi, eto na, they're not throwing away logic for the convenience of putting together that 5-on-5 match, right? So now we're here in a pickle. We're wondering who it's gonna be, and we have no answers right now other than Cody, if Cody was available.
I would have said before it was confirmed that Cody wasn't going to be on Survivor Series talaga. Sure na ba yun na wala talaga siya? It just wasn't announced.
That's based on his announced schedule. Yung pinost niya.
Kasi feeling ko talaga bagay si Cody and si Kevin Owens dito sa kwento na to eh. They both have ties to the Bloodline storyline. And if there was anybody to go against everything they did as their current self right now, it'll be Kevin Owens. Diba? In his heel persona, he believes na mali pa rin si Roman Reigns, diba? And tama pa rin siya. So, it would make sense for him to side with the enemy of Roman Reigns, diba? Which is the New Bloodline. Diba? I don't necessarily know kung tutuloy nila. Sana, para tama ako, diba? But really, in reality, baka malayo na isama nila. They might want to save KO and Cody for maybe a Mania or another pay-per-view or PLE, down the road. But it makes sense for me if they just suddenly appear sa WarGames.
All right. Let's talk about a different faction this time and talk about the Wyatt Six and the Final Testament. So, the Miz and the Final Testament were able to get one up over the Wyatt Six. So, finake out nila, di ba? Sinabi ni Miz na, hindi, ayoko na. And then, they were able to lure the Wyatt Six in for a beatdown courtesy of Steel Chair and then some.
I gotta give it to them. They made Karrion Kross finally interesting. I don't know. Okay, siya. I thought that it was just gonna be the Wyatt Six versus the Miz, but the Final Testament is still in the story. I'm not quite sure why, but I guess it's to make themselves famous, I suppose. I think if we didn't need
Paul Ellering, diba?
Yeah. That's right.
Sinakripisyo si Paul Ellering.
If we didn't need a women's WarGames match, I think this could easily have been it. The second one.
Actually, before we got the leaks from next week's Raw, I thought this was the next WarGames match.
No, di pwede kasi men's and women's eh. Men's and women's WarGames.
Diba?
Nga pala kasi may babae sa Final Testament. Hey, I don't mind this. I think Karrion Kross is finally more interesting when there are real things at play here and not just him, spouting out cryptic shit on whatever segment there is or backstage, diba? So that's pretty cool. I think the Wyatt Six finally having something else to do is nice. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I like how they are keeping these two teams together na parang walang breakup. Ito, dalawang team na hindi nag-away. Kasi
hindi naman nagsasalita yung iba eh.
Yeah, but that's also true. Only 3 of the guys actually talk on these two teams. But I digress. It's nice that they were able to give us this fake out because it just showed a little bit more weakness dito sa Wyatts who are supposed to be supernatural, diba? And these characters are extensions of the real wrestlers themselves, diba? But at the end of the day, nakita natin that the real wrestlers themselves are just human, diba? And kaya pa rin silang masaktan ng steel chair, diba? And they can still be jumped. So I really like that they really showed us this weakness with the Wyatts. And I like how they're keeping Final Testament relevant in this situation. Hindi sila kinakain ng buhay. Diba? They don't end up murdered on TV like all the other previous stables here. So it's going to be interesting if this ends up on a Survivor Series card. I don't think it has room for it. But maybe the SmackDown or Raw before the PLE might have room for it. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty into this as well. Kasi si Uncle Howdy has been pretty OP ever since he first appeared, diba? Like 2 years ago at this point. So now to see Uncle Howdy in this spot where he can actually get hurt, he can be taken down, and some other people other than Uncle Howdy can stand victorious after a segment. It's fresh, diba? It's
But
different. So
that's because we already established that Uncle Howdy is just Bo Dallas in a mask. Diba? I think that's a big part of why this version of Uncle Howdy is human. Diba?
I guess, but then
Parang
again, there
extensions
are.
lang sila, diba? Yeah.
I mean, hindi lang naman si Uncle Howdy yung nagpapakita ng humane side niya across both
Uh,
companies. And
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that
Oh,
in a
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Okay, one more bit from Raw before we cross over. Let's talk about the women because the main event featured a women's tag team championship match. And if you were the type to go out and reading spoilers for next week's taped episode, alam mo na, makikita na natin na parang, are we headed towards a women's war games?
I would like to clarify that I did not read the spoiler, so I don't know what's coming next.
I
okay,
think so.
okay.
I think so. Okay, so ako na. I'll take it. So next week's Raw features. Sorry, next week's Raw featured a showdown between these four women on one side, and the other side you had Candice LeRae, Nia Jax, Stephanie Stratton, and man, I'm forgetting two names here. Si ano, basta two more
Meta
people.
Girls.
The Meta Girls.
The Meta
No,
Girls?
not the Meta Girls. No, not the Meta Girls. Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, Tiffany Stratton, Liv and Raquel on one side, and on the other side, it will be the big three: Naomi, Jade, and Bianca, Io Sky, and the returning Rhea Ripley. So that's the big spoiler for
Okay, so
for next week.
the War Games match has finally entered mid 2000 Survivor Series territory. Is that what you're
Oh
saying?
no.
Yung pinagsasama-sama na lang nila yung mga face and heel na nag-aaway-aaway in a single Survivor Series match. Kung ganun din lang, sana binalik na lang ng Survivor Series, diba?
The elimination match, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yun nga eh, kasi the women's War Games match, if it is going to happen, they didn't have as much time to cook as the men's side, diba? They didn't have as much time to tell a really deeper story, diba? With the Bloodline, you had 5 whole years of Bloodline to fall back on. Ito, parang in 2 weeks time, dapat maniwala na tayo na may stakes din to eh. Dehado pa sila because they only got together 2 weeks before the actual PLE. So parang it's a little bit of a disservice. I already knew we were getting a women's War Games match. I would have appreciated it if it came a little bit earlier in the build up though.
Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens here kasi nga a lot of the conjecture dito sa point na to relies heavily on what people have already seen from the spoilers, but we haven't seen the segment ourselves at this point. Okay, so ayan, sorry and spoiler alert belated for those who did not want the spoilers.
Jasper, lagyan mo na lang a few minutes before.
I don't know how you're gonna pull that off, Jasper, pero
Sorry, man.
spoiler war.
Sorry, Jasper.
So this is a spoiler warning. Ayan, pwede mo na gamitin yung clip. All right, let's go to break. When we come back, we'll talk about NXT and AEW. But first, a quick word from our other podcast right here on the Pod Network. All right, let's talk about NXT real quick. We've got a huge match with some implications on the line next week. It's the number 1 contenders match between Andre Chase and Ridge Holland. Medyo weird na si Trick Williams nakialam and then siya pa yung nanggagatong na parang, you guys do this. Yes, put this up on the line and all of that. And then, nung una, it didn't seem like Andre Chase was gonna put up Chase U. Kasi diba sabi ni Ridge Holland, para saan pa? you're gonna gamble it away again, diba? You already did it once. And then, ganun din naman yung stipulation anyway, because sinabi ni Ridge na you have to disconnect yourself from Tia, from Duke, and from Riley. So, parang instead of Chase U as an institution yung magdi-disband, yung relationships niya with the individuals yung dapat mag-disband. Which, I don't know, medyo matter of semantics lang siya. I get what they were trying to go for here, but medyo natawa lang ako na yun yung route that they took.
Yeah, I don't think they had a word for the core group, the faction, the wrestling faction that is Chase U, and not the academic institution that is Chase U. So, I get it, but no, I did get naman yung participation of Trick Williams as NXT champion. I guess they had to go there. They didn't have a really better way to finesse the tahe to the NXT championship. But hey, this is interesting. It would be, I think they would have to do the whole Chase U must disband thing para lang to keep things interesting. Chase U has been the recipient of the longest running story arc in NXT right now.
Yeah,
And I
3+
think it's
years and counting.
I think it's well on brand for their entire thing to go through hard times like having to be disbanded.
Mm-hmm. Sabi ni Doc G, maybe it's a way to move Andre Chase up to the main roster. Kasi diba we've talked about it here on the show na medyo mahirap kung buong unit ng Chase U iaangat mo sa main roster.
Sure.
Yeah, I gets ko naman din yan. But also, because you mentioned semantics, what if it's just their way to bring in new Chase U students to the mix, diba?
Sino professor nila? Sino magtuturo?
I don't know who.
Si Andre Chase, may bagong estudyante. I think is what Chino said.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Diba? He could easily just go, just say, yes, ako, maiwan ako sa Chase U, but everybody else has to go. So, pinag-graduate niya yung mga bata niya, and then new people come in. It's like, it becomes this long-running trope na parang everybody just enters.
It is a school.
Via Chase U. It is a school.
Parang gusto mangyari ni Ridge, in no way home niya si Andre Chase. Alam mo, nagdadaan sina Duke and Tia and Riley, pero parang di sila magkakilala.
God. But yeah, I think it's
also nakikita ko din yung benefits of them breaking up, diba? I also see the benefits of them breaking up kasi it just makes sense for them to be called up as individuals since they also bring individual talent to the table.
I think poor Duke Hudson also needs a call up now at this point.
He's been such a team player.
Yeah.
Baka yun nga, I kind of like this idea now that mentioned mo Chino, diba? New students, put Dante Chen in there. He's not doing much, diba?
Oo nga eh. Oo, tama yan.
Diba? Put Dante Chen in there, put si Fitness Filipina in there, o Southeast Asian branch ng Chase U. Oh, boom.
Dapat yun na pala sinabi nila. If Ridge Holland wins, everyone must graduate.
I love Chase U though. I just gotta say, like hindi natin ginagago yung Chase U because it's worthy of panggagago. We love it. That's why we're invested in it. That's why we're spending the last few minutes talking about it right now, diba? Love natin yung Chase U. All right, let's cross over to AEW. Ito, something we actually like. The Continental Classic is back. Yay! So, it starts in Chicago in 2 weeks sa Thanksgiving Eve episode ng Dynamite. And wala pa tayong ibang information. Like, we don't know who's gonna be the Blue League or the Gold League. Di natin alam kung babalik ba yung Continental Championship. Diba? It kind of disappeared after Eddie Kingston lost it. Or, no, sorry. Wait, no, Okada's got it. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So, ayun, is Okada gonna get involved, diba? So, wala pang masyadong details. But, I liked the tournament the first time.
I think Okada's getting involved because if we're following the G1 format, the champion is involved in the G1. So, I think they might be doing the whole, put the champion in the tournament. Tapos sinong makakatalo sa kanya during the tournament will get a shot at him eventually or in the future, right? So, I don't think that's beyond the realm of possibility here in this version of the tournament. So, yeah,
hindi pa kagalit-galit yun for Okada. Parang pucha, umalis na nga ako ng New Japan. Gaganituhin ako ulit sa AEW.
No, it's sportsmanship, diba? It's being a competitor. I think sanay na rin siya nun.
I think if anything, sorry, Ro, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say that it's gonna be a good focus of the action in AEW. In AEW programming for the next month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if anything, selling point din to kay Okada because it's something familiar. I don't know how big a factor that plays in to his signing with AEW, but he is actually really good in this type of format. So I'm excited to see Kazuchika Okada do something very similar to the G1 again. Diba? And with all the talent that they have now, ang dami na ulit ng tao, it's just a must-watch now at this point. So, exciting times.
Etong si Emil Nate, gustong bigyan ng trabaho pa yung AEW. Gawin daw special yung setup parang NBA Cup. Ano gagawin mo, Emil? Ipe-paint mo yung
blue,
mat?
Gagawin niya yung blue, yung mat.
Yung finals, naka-paint yung mat. Naka-street style.
Then, pag Blue League, blue yung mat. Pag Gold League, gold yung mat. Tapos magpapalit yan during the show.
No. It's Sin Cara lighting. Pag Blue League, blue yung ilaw. Pag Gold League, gold yung ilaw.
Mumurahin si Emil nung tech team ng AEW.
Buti may tech team lang yung mga wrestler, magagalit lalo.
Ang daming alam nitong Emil Nate na to. 3 oras kaya yan ulit. Plus 3 hours
paint the mat. Just change the lights, dude. You don't need to paint the mat.
Emil, the bane of tech people everywhere and production people. Alright, eto, pag-usapan natin yung House of Black. We mentioned yung mga supernatural stables na nagiging tao, and we're kind of seeing it with the House of Black, diba, over the last few weeks. Like, last week, si Malachi Black, natalo siya kay Adam Cole, tapos nag-shake hands sila, nag-embrace pa sila, and then pinut over siya ni Adam Cole. Kala natin naalis si Malachi Black. Yung pala hindi, and nandiyan pa rin sila. And then they beat FTR. They're going to full gear for the 4-way match against Private Party and the Outrunners and ATBD. And then, nakipag-shake hands sila with FTR. Samantalang si Julia Hart, meron siyang vignette which interrupted Jamie Hayter's backstage interview. And it showed Julia Hart being human and waking up in her apartment or wherever she lives. Tapos, nagiging supernatural siya ulit. She put on the hat and she got like the cane or whatever it was, and then she got pulled into the cabinet para pumunta siya ng Narnia.
Yeah, there's obviously a disconnect, but I think if it's not true that Malachi Black is leaving or Buddy Matthews is leaving, I think they're just taking the next step in the progression of the House of Black. Like, okay, we've done the whole supernatural thing, and then now we want to go the Undertaker route na naging tao din siya. And then maybe it'll set it up eventually to have them be supernatural again sometime down the line. But I think I wanted to focus on the fact that they're getting the win here, the contendership win, maybe even set up to beat Private Party for the tag team championships. I think it's a response to whatever rumors there are, whether they're true or not, about Malachi leaving for WWE. So work the rumor mill or work the company via the rumor mill. And I think it's interesting. I think how the next how the championship shot plays out will determine whether or not the rumors are true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was another vignette that happened on Collision. I don't know if you guys caught that, which would explain tong nangyayari kay Julia Hart a little bit further. So for those of you that didn't see it, it was after she got pulled into this cabinet, she entered like a dreamlike state where she was a cheerleader again. And then she was cheering on a football field somewhere, an ethereal football field somewhere. Tapos in the stands, ang nanonood sa kanya, isang tao lang. And it's her as the dark Julia Hart. The same get-up Julia Hart with the veil over her face. So hindi pa natin makita, di ba? Na kung siya talaga yun. But then it's the cheerleader Julia Hart is essentially trying to hype the demon Julia Hart. And then the demon Julia Hart doesn't like what she sees. She pulls out a bow and arrow and she shoots cheerleader Julia Hart right in the heart.
Kaya si Julia Hart, when she woke up sa apartment, may bloody heart siya.
Okay,
that explains it.
So
pero ba't tinawagan siya ni Brody sa telepono? Tsaka ba't may telepono si Julia Hart?
It was a dream.
It was all a dream.
Yeah. It was all a dream. So parang nag-inception siya. Like a
Yeah.
dream within a dream type of deal. So, parang they're doubling down on this demon evil Julia Hart here. And maybe tulad na sinabi ni Ro, they use it as a mechanism to bring Malachi and Brody King back into the darker spaces of the House of Black, diba? Parang kasi why would they invest so much time and money into this iteration of Julia Hart if they're just gonna be human again. Unless they break off and Julia Hart does her own thing. Which I doubt kasi hindi pa natin siya nakikita ulit eh, diba? So,
No, going back to yung initial rumor na aalis si Malachi Black, what's the point of investing all of this money and production effort into Julia Hart's vignettes kung mawawala lang din si Malachi Black when he's the central figure of the entire stable?
I think the answer to that is if it's true that Malachi is leaving and then they're gonna disband the House of Black. I think it doesn't mean just because wala na si Malachi, hindi na magiging supernatural si Julia Hart. So I think it's possible that she stays being supernatural because she had her own thing with Sky Blue, diba? That they never bothered to explain. So I wouldn't be surprised if they keep the supernatural elements on just her.
Mm-hmm. Okay. See, we got more AEW stuff, including the subject in Rose background na kinagalit ng maraming tao sa internet. We'll talk about that later on after this break. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. All right, Adam Cole and Roderick Strong both had their third matches na dinecree ni MJF na kailangan nila ipanalo if they want a shot at him at Full Gear. Which is weird kasi bakit may leverage si MJF, hindi naman siya champion, di ba? But okay, whatever, sure. So, nagkaroon ng hero's journey itong sina Roddy and Adam Cole. And then Roderick Strong won his match, Adam Cole did not. So, it's Roddy versus MJF, I guess, at Full Gear. We don't know what Adam Cole is doing. And then Kyle O'Reilly got involved para i-save sina Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. Pero tinanggihan niyang i-shake yung hand ni Adam Cole. So, what are we getting here? Undisputed Era reunion? Is Bobby Fish coming back?
I think the three are getting the band back together. I think that's what the end game here is. Kasi
Funny
why
Kingdom.
would you? Huh?
Funny Kingdom.
Kasama sila. I guess.
So, lima sila.
I think the Undisputed Kingdom is all of them now.
Okay.
So, unless the Kingdom splits off on their own. But, I think involving everyone, all the Undisputed Era members here, sans Bobby Fish, is headed towards that. I think that outcome that a lot of people want anyway, because people like the Undisputed Era. So, I can't remember why Kyle O'Reilly is pissed off at Adam Cole kasi I thought it was the NXT thing, but then I remember that when Kyle joined AEW, nagsama naman sila. So, what did he do again that got him pissed off?
I actually don't remember.
Diba? That's weird.
Alam ko, naging conglomeration na siya bigla.
nga eh.
No, na-injure si Kyle, diba? Ang tagal niya nawala over a year.
Yeah, he was gone for a while.
Yeah.
And then when he came back, yun na, conglomeration Kyle O'Reilly na siya.
Okay. I can't remember why Kyle O'Reilly. Yeah.
I think Adam Cole was trying to recruit him at some point, diba, as the devil or some shit. I don't know.
Okay.
Pwede.
Sorry, Chino, you were making a point about MJF.
Yeah, as the devil. Yeah, I think it's weird that MJF has so much pull here when the only thing he has to offer is himself. Diba? Hindi naman siya champion. It's like go through all these hoops just to face me. That's and then he all of a sudden he has the ability to dictate who he faces now. But regardless, it's nice to see them back together. I doubt Bobby Fish is part of this because if I remember correctly, he is on MLW, Major League Wrestling, as part of
Yeah.
the a new Horseman-esque stable. It's
Yeah.
something Horseman related. Right? So
I don't think he's coming
doing
back.
his
I
own
think
thing.
I think he rubbed some people the wrong way. Nung ano.
Oh.
Kasi, di ba, he tried to get people back to NXT or to WWE. Tapos nagalit sa kanya si TK.
Oh, talaga ba? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, that was the
Okay.
thing. That's why he's not in AEW anymore.
Tampering. Damn. Or, tampering a Jace. Do you guys want to see this, yung Undisputed reunion?
Yeah, I think it's time na rin. I think people need something to, revamp Adam Cole or parang fix the whole thing with the MJF story. Actually think Roddy winning the shot against MJF was them trying to fix the whole second part of the story, diba? Where people were questioning bakit si Adam Cole yung face when he was the guy who turned on MJF, and they were trying to justify it, and then people were just not buying it. So it's just I think it's a way to shift some of that focus to moving on. So I think reuniting the Undisputed Era would be a way to parang whitewash that recent history.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, there is also merit to giving people what they want, diba? And people seem to really like the Undisputed Era, diba? Hinihingi na nila yan ever since all three of them debuted for AEW. So, parang it only makes sense at this point. Adam Cole finds himself in a weird spot because when he got hurt, he went out on top of a very hot storyline, diba, against MJF. Yung friendship nila and how he injured himself after. Parang sayang diba? So now that he's making his return, parang he's in an awkward situation here na trying to find his spot in the AEW picture. So I think by putting him together with everybody else, tama din naman sa Raw, it gives all of them a spotlight to be in sa AEW TV. And I also just want to hear Roderick Strong call Adam again. Just for old times' sake. Sigaw lang niya ulit yung Adam!
Well, he has been doing that a bit.
Oh, he has been naman.
Yeah, so more frequently. So
all right. Okay, let's close things out by talking about the women, specifically Mina Shirakawa and Harley Cameron. And if you watched yung epic backstage segment here, they really shook what their mama gave them. So, the phrase on your screen was actually uttered by Miss Cameron herself on broadcast television. So let's start with Ro explaining why people on the internet were mad to begin with. What is there to get mad about?
People don't like Harley Cameron because they think she's annoying. But I think she's really funny because I can see her try. Like I'm seeing her try to be I wouldn't say insane, but unhinged rather. I think she's trying really well at being unhinged para lang maging viral and to be memorable, And the thing about saying a lot of unhinged stuff is if you just commit to it, it's going to work. As long as you don't half-ass the delivery, as long as you commit yourself to looking crazy out there, it's gonna work. And
look at Tony Storm, look at Christian Cage.
Exactly. I think it's a Tony Storm playbook here. Pero it's just not as nuanced as Tony Storm's character, where she was trying to reference old Hollywood. But Harley Cameron was just parang she's just off her meds or whatever. And I think people didn't like that. And especially people didn't like how, Harley Cameron just reduced herself and Mina Shirakawa to shaking boobs on TV. But other than the fact that I like boobs, I think it's just funny because it's just two girls. It's just two girls feeling themselves. It's two girls being themselves. I don't think they're being forced to, sexualize themselves because the booker is an old man. I think ganyan na talaga sila, and they're free to be themselves, and that's the whole point of feminism anyway, right? You don't have to perform whatever you don't want to. You can be whatever you want, and if this is you naturally, this is your character, then it translates, diba? It's more easy to watch. It's more entertaining, I think, and it it also got them over. it's if it was, I think people just hate this because it was also kind of cringe. But if as long as they're having fun out there, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I think ang difference ito with all the chatter people are complaining about internet world is that this is a self-aware segment. Diba? These two women are self-aware that they are eye candy. Diba? See, if you think this is the first time Mina Shirakawa shook boobs on TV, then you need to watch more Mina Shirakawa. Diba? And the best na niya ginawa yan eh. And same for Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron has been playing this unhinged sort of psycho stalker lady for a few months now. So it's not new to her, diba? To say all these inane things on TV. So it's them just playing their character, diba? And I don't think they're in a position to be told what to do. Diba? Na parang may abuse na nangyayari to sell tickets or to boost ratings, and they have to do it in a mud pit or a bra and panties match.
Exactly.
Wala na tayo dun
Tama,
eh, diba?
Yeah.
Wala na tayo dun, diba? We're in the current modern day wrestling, and I think people just have a hard time differentiating what actually was and what actually is now. Na parang di porket hindi sila work rate indie darling wrestlers na hindi na sila feminist. Diba? They can also be feminist doing what they do on TV.
Yeah, people just didn't like this because it was silly. But if you know Mina Shirakawa, she's a Joshi wrestler, but she's a Japanese champion, and a lot of people are serious in Japan. Pero she's also pretty funny. She's also pretty comedic, and Harley Cameron's even more comedic. So I think they're allowed to be this. I think it's much easier to digest if we can see them having fun, and I think they were having fun. So
let me ask you guys this:
Oh.
is this a case of it supposedly being anti AEW now? We're the work rate show. It's the work rate company. Dapat hindi siya sports entertainment.
Yeah. It's pretty much that. People have a hard time reconciling the sports entertainment aspects that some people bring into AEW, like MXM Collection. So it's like I said in a Discord chat just earlier today. The thing about AEW is that it's primarily booked for people who were fans of 2000s independent wrestling, and a lot of that was super serious, but also a lot of that was also pretty goofy if you watch the right companies. So if your idea
yung
of
AEW, like OG AEW had stupid shit like what the
Yeah,
Elite
yeah.
were doing in BTE or the Dark Order, diba?
Yeah.
So now it comes across as sexist to me because it's two women.
kasi
doing it.
babae. Oo. Tama. That's right. That's a good point. Yeah.
So I don't know. I the outrage now to me when I distill everything, diba, given yung history ng AEW, it's actually pretty fucking sexist.
No, people just people don't like it because it's silly, and then people especially don't like it because it's women. So to those who don't actually like this, because I think I've also seen a lot of people who did like it because it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's boobs, guys. Why are you like? It's just boobs.
Ano raw keso hindi raw accessible sa kanila, therefore no one should have access to it.
Tsaka, it sounds like they did this match, and then it sounds like they're gonna come out to a cat fight, diba? They're not gonna do a cat fight on Saturday in
diba?
Collision, diba?
Yeah, exactly.
They're just gonna wrestle a straight up wrestling match.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a bra and panties match, diba? Or a pillow fight, diba? Wala na yun eh, diba? It's wrestling now, and it's just part of the whole larger picture.
Mm-hmm. All right. And if you want to get your thoughts in on this particular topic or anything we talked about here on the show, you know where to find us. It is at Wrestling2Xpod on Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Everywhere else, it is at Wrestling Podcast. Before we get out of here, we also just want to, or I just want to take some time to grieve with the UP community, to mourn the loss of former UP coach Ricky Dandan, the father of our friend Coach Mark Dandan, who is a frequent listener of this podcast. We mourn his loss with the Dandan family, the UP community, all of his former players and students across both the PBA and the UAAP. So rest in peace to Coach Ricky Dandan, and thanks for everything you contributed to Philippine basketball.
Our condolences to the family.
Mm-hmm. For we just want to say thanks again to everybody who joined us this week on the live stream. It's always a lot of fun whenever we get to talk about wrestling with you guys, and even yung mga wrestling adjacent stuff, like how people should take a shower before they show up at any wrestling related events. Thank you for being a very fun part of our week. We hope that we're able to be a fun part of your week as well, and we will catch you next week for a new set of episodes, starting with WWP Reminisces Over, all the way down to the live stream as well. Thank you to Babyface producer Jasper and everyone over at the Pod Network for all of their help behind the scenes. And make sure to follow us individually at Rois War, at Chino Supersized, at EML_Meister, at Monday Night Rowan, and at _Stan C. And we will catch you next week. So on behalf of Romoran and Chino Liao, my name is Stan C, reminding everyone to stay safe, stay dry, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast out. We love you, Solo!